The second I heard it, I knew the song was going to be huge.
The fact that it's an Imran Khan production, people are calling me Chudel on the streets. They're like, hey, Chudel! She's more excited about your take than anybody on set, including you.
Amir actually selected the film by himself. You're adults, but we will not treat you like adults. You cannot be dishonest to your film. You have to make your film with all honesty in the way that you intended it.
Delhi belly actually is a sort of slang colloquial term for someone who's suffering from food poisoning or a bad case of diarrhea. So it's a term that generally NRIs or foreigners use when they travel around, and generally in India, but they can get it in other countries as well. So when you eat something that really upsets your stomach, you end up getting Delhi belly, and the film happens to revolve around a sort of misunderstanding that takes place due to one of the characters suffering from this.
The response has been very good. For our part, I think the first track we heard was DK Bose.
Yeah.
And it was again a track that we all reacted to immediately. I think the second I heard it, I knew the song was going to be huge. I knew that people would love it, and I also knew that there would be a lot of people who would hate it and who would object to it and would have moral problems with it.
I have a song called Ja Chudel, so now just people are calling me Chudel on the streets. They're like, hey, Chudel! Chudel! Which on a gender basis is wrong. And I'm flattered and disturbed at the same time.
In terms of genre, the film is kind of a crime caper comedy, and while there are tense moments, there are a few moments of action, a little hint of romance. Overall, the film does have a humorous vein running through it. Ultimately, it is a funny film.
It's funny by virtue of how wrong it is. Like, if you've ever been in a situation in your life when you have nothing to lose, and everything, the shit has hit the fan, everything has gone wrong, I think that's where you find the most laughter. When you have really, things could not get worse. So that's kind of where these boys are, is that horrible things happen to them in the span of this film, but they derive comedy from that because literally they're laughing at it in a certain sense because nothing possibly could go worse, and it does.
Amir had actually selected the film by himself. He had picked it up as a producer long before any of us were attached to it in any way. I think his interest in any film is that it should be appropriate for the audience that he's making it. Jani 2 was a teenage and just post-teenage love story, a romantic comedy, and it was very clearly meant for that audience. And as such, he didn't want to have anything in it that could ruffle any feathers, that could rub anyone the wrong way, or even offend someone. With Delhi Belly, the intention was always very clear. We are making an adult film. We are making a film for a mature audience, and as such, you cannot pander to that audience. You cannot cater to them in a different way, saying, "Acha, you're adults, but we will not treat you like adults." For my part, Delhi Belly is the kind of film that I've always wanted to be a part of. It's a kind of film, it's a kind of storytelling that we don't really do in India. We've never tried it before, and it's a style that I'm a huge fan of.
Aside of the fact that it's an Imran Khan production and it's a big banner, as a comic, as a comedian, I usually get cast as or offered the happiest guy in the movie that makes people laugh. It was just very refreshing to get offered the unhappiest guy in the movie. I think Oru kind of starts out the movie very unhappy and gets even unhappier as the movie starts. He's got a nice anger to him which I hadn't gotten offered in anything before. So it was just nice to play a ball of really retentive anger. It's nice.
There actually is a theatrical trailer out, which is a 2.5-minute dialogue trailer. But even in that trailer, we have intentionally not given away what the story is, because in the film, these three boys also actually don't know what's going on. They're in a situation, they're stuck, people are after them, but they don't know who these guys are and they don't know why. So it is kind of to bring the audience into that confusion as well, that they're on the journey with these guys, and as we find out what's going on, the audience finds out what's going on as well.
And I also think the songs they really serve very well because they're not musically promoting the film. You have to realize every song on the album is conceptually a very tight song as well. DK Bose is about running away from an Andhi, Ja Chudel is about angst, Bedardi Raja is about desperation, Nakkad Wali Disco is about not having means. So it does conceptually kind of reflect the spirit of the film, and it serves as a good thermometer. if conceptually you like the song, you thought the song was funny, chances are you'll really like Delhi Belly.
The music completely reflects what the ride that the audience is going to go on. But if you know too much about that ride, and if you know too much about the elements that are involved, you might not enjoy it as much. So while trying to interest them and get them to come into the theaters, we don't want to reveal too much about the story, because that means that they will just enjoy it less. So it just makes sense to put out stuff that is in the same vein of the movie and gives you a feel of it, but not tell you too much.
She's lovely. She's just a force on set. I believe that a film set really takes on the mood and the sort of spirit of the director, and she keeps such a lively, positive set. She's the kind of director where if you've given a good take and you instantly, an actor goes from cut to looking at the director, making eye contact, she's more excited about your take than anybody on set, including you. She's laughing harder than anybody on set. And that just really, really, really is the best atmosphere for creativity. She's a very good director.
Naturally, any audience that is under 18 will be removed, but I mean, that is the nature of our film.
Yeah.
We've set out to make a film for an adult audience, and we've always been very, very upfront about that.
Yeah.
And I feel that just for the sake of worrying about what audience you might lose, you cannot be dishonest to your film. You have to make your film with all honesty in the way that you intended it, and the audience will come.